Alrighty, part 3, hopefully the last part of this entire video. Currently, I just installed silicone on the heads where the valve cover is going to go. So I installed some silicone up there, some across here, a nice little in that area, and then across the bottom. I'll go ahead and put this valve cover on and put the brand new gasket on, and then I have bolts sitting right there for it. Okay, this side is nice and tight. I just gotta wipe that down, get the oil residue off that, and then I got these two lines nice and tight. So this side's done. I just need spark plugs and put the coil packs in, and then no more touching this side. All right, number 2, all silicone's on. Go ahead and install this valve cover. Alrighty, this valve cover's on. Got both of the top lines on. Coolant reservoir is tight. I got this line on the top of the turbo. And then I've got the AC compressor tight and the AC compressor belt tensioner tight. Yeah, just gotta get the lift ready and move this thing out. Okay, in the rear I just pulled the rear main seal off and I'm about to put a new one on. It's right here. Get that on here and then I put the flywheel on. I think it has a new pilot bearing already in it. It's a ACT flywheel. And then clutch and pressure plate, and then this will be ready to drop in. I'll probably drop it in the morning when I actually can see outside. And we've got a brand new ACT lightweight flywheel and brand new pilot bearing in the middle. And then this X clutch we're gonna install in a couple minutes. All right, we got the flywheel on, nice and tight. Next thing is clutch. All right, time to check this thing out. I have not seen it yet. Got a pilot bearing in there, it's extra, and then some grease for the splines. Bunch of assembly stuff talking about the distance. X clutch sticker. And now we gotta remove, ooh, a nice clutch. That thing looks minty. All right, clutch and pressure plate are both on. Nicely aligned in the center. All right, it's the next morning and I'm about to drop this motor in the car. The flywheel I put on last night, and then the clutch and pressure plate and everything is done there. Just looking over everything, but I think we're good to drop it in. The motor's right here. Car's already actually prepped up in the air. I just need to use my jack to lift up the transmission. I'll get that up. I'm gonna put the throwout bearing on, and then the clutch fork pin right there through right there, and then put the bolt holder on the outside so it doesn't come out ever, and get this guy going. Well, please enjoy this time lapse of me installing the engine. Maybe I'll throw some music on it so it'll be a little bit peaceful. Okay, got motor in. Just about tight. I just gotta put the bottom nuts on, tighten those up, and then put one on the top, suck it in. The wheel's already moved, so I know I'm all the way in. Gonna get that going. Once those are tight, get the starter in. 2 coolant lines in right there and right there. Downpipe tight. Motor mount nuts tight. Electrical harnesses both sides. Gotta replace these 2 fuel lines and get this thing squared away. All right, the most important part about every 6-speed and then 02 to 05 WRX 5-speeds, in my opinion, is pushing this in and getting it to catch. So when you push it that way, oh, there you go, now it's caught. Then you gotta put the spring in. That way you know it's attached to the pressure plate, and there you go. Now I can start putting everything else back together, and we should have a clutch again. All right, little update, we got the starter in. The bolt that sits right down here tight. Both coolant lines back there tight. Got the blow-off valve boost gauge line on. I imagine the blow-off valve will actually have a line that will connect to this when I put the front mount on. As you can see, one pipe there and the entire front mount. Got the power steering pump tight. Don't forget to plug this guy in right there. Okay, got that side harness in. That side harness in. I'm gonna put pitch stop bolt in a couple minutes. I'm gonna put the alternator on. I usually put the alternator and stuff on before the radiator so I have room to actually get to these bolts with an extension. And then once that's done, go underneath, tighten the 2 motor mount nuts down, and then the downpipe, And then like I think I have to replace just those 2 fuel lines on top. And then this motor's almost done already. Well, I accidentally got way ahead of myself, but got the radiator in, and then this cover, both fans plugged in, power steering pump on, alternator on, the entire front mount setup's on. So obviously that's the cold side, hot side charge pipe coming down. Everything's tight on the sides. Got the downpipe tightened, pitch stop tightened, blow off valve on, everything. Only thing we're missing right now is I gotta put this return for the blow off valve on, and that the intake, and then oil and coolant, and then the boost controller. And I'm gonna lower it down in just moments here so I can work on this a little easier. But it's just coming together, almost done. Alrighty, it is basically done. I'm gonna do a once over. Got everything hooked up correctly though. Coolant lines on bottom and top tight. The fans plugged in. The intake plug nice and tight. Got that return with zip ties on it. All the lines for the turbo on. All the electrical connectors across. The only thing left is just the fuel lines. Like I said, I'm just gonna test these and make sure we actually have fuel pressure for one, and then see if they're actually leaking for sure. But I can't see anything that I'm missing, which is amazing. Pretty much all done now. Just needs oil and coolant. I'm gonna just prime this and just see if there's any fuel pressure. All right, oil is in, coolant's in. I already checked, I actually have fuel pressure. I fixed both of the fuel lines. Now I'm gonna go ahead and crank this with the crank sensor unplugged to get some oil pressure, and then I'll plug it in and it'll actually start this. All right, cranking without the crank sensor plugged in. This battery's pretty dead, but at least I'm getting some oil pressure built up. All right, new battery's in. The other one was crap, so we're gonna try to get an actual start with this battery. Well, she's running. Been running for about 10 minutes. I checked the inside on the gauge. Got like 80 pounds of oil pressure, so this oil pump's working really wonderfully. No leaks I can tell at all yet. It's running great. It's got really old gas in it, so it's not running super well as far as that. Obviously, it's old gas. But anyways, thank you for watching. Subscribe.